Yes. Greetings and welcome back once again. This is Imuna. Welcome to the channel for those who just joined us. And if you have been here time and time again, you don't know already. Welcome back. This is another episode of Noteworthy. I hope you're enjoying this series because I am enjoying this series, okay? I am learning so much, and if those of you who know, and if you don't know, I love learning. So we're back again with another one from Mr. Kevin Hoven Roshan Samuels, okay? And this conversation, I'm sorry about that. Y'all see me beeping the horn? This conversation is going to be about what he had going on a few years ago as he was sharing his information within his growing audience. So this is the more unfiltered portion of him, and so we're going to go ahead and tune in and hear what he has to say.
It's less than 7 seconds. Honestly, it takes 7 seconds to form confirmation bias. Here's the thing, guys. We got 37 people watching. I know a lot of this stuff is crazy, but the guys in there who have gone through this journey and have had this stuff happen, they'll back me up on it in the comment section. It's not popular, but it is what it is. If you want to be in a successful relationship with a woman, you have to take the dominant position, point blank, end of sentence, and you can never relinquish it. You have to stay on top. Period. Cannot let up. That does not mean you have to oppress her or whatever. You just got to know she's a woman, you're a man, you dominant, she's feminine. That's the way it has to be. And the thing is this, wait
a minute. If you notice with him, and I've noticed now that I'm listening, he censors himself when he knows he's about to say something that's too risque, especially earlier on when he was concerned at how this information was going to be received. So he's saying that you're dominant, she's submissive, and he stopped himself short of saying you're superior. Right? And when we're looking at this lens and we're looking at the mentality, all of the other stuff begins to make sense. And this is why we're going back so far. Somebody said, and what's your point? Like, if you can't watch honestly and objectively and see where someone's coming from and the foundation that they laid for what we're now experiencing, you know what I mean? I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. So basically he's saying you have to stay on pot, basically always keep her in her place. This is what he's saying. Like I said, he stopped short of saying you're superior, and then he cut it. But we're gonna keep. I heard that though, Brother Kevin. I heard that. Let's go.
Love it. I run into chicks that I knew from back then. They still want some of this. They still married with kids. One is a federal court judge, and two, I still remember back in those days. I'm like, what? You married for 20 years? I'm like, wow. I tend to attract ugly women. It's pretty sad because people tell me I'm not bad looking. You attract ugly women. I don't know what you mean. You attract ugly women. Okay. You got to approach, Nikki. Ugly women, fat women, they've always had to do the approaching. Because they got less options. Women with higher sexual marketplace value, they ain't gonna roll up on you. You gotta go up to them. So that's probably your problem. If you're not bad looking, unless you're approaching women confidently, you're banking on the fact that you look cute enough, smell good enough, and you want her to step to you. No, you gotta step to her. That's why you see a lot of pretty women with average looking dudes, because most dudes don't approach pretty women because they're intimidated or scared. What I'm telling y'all is you don't have to be intimidated or scared of no woman. A woman wants you. They will let you know when they want you. Pretty women just like them. Pretty women more so. Because pretty women get approached by fewer guys than we already think. They hear all the stuff all the time. So if you approach her with the truth, she gonna dig on you. You approach a pretty woman.
I went back so far because I like context. So he was telling some stories before, and I know you'll be like, well, Amuna, where's the juice? Sometimes you jump into the juice, and then I don't want to misconstrue what the person is saying. So I went back a little bit further so we could kind of ease on into it and get a little context before he drops it on you. So we're going to keep rocking. Let's go.
Like this. Like I said, You're at a bar. You go to a club. Excuse you, you're standing in my place. What? You're standing in my place. What? You heard me? No, I'm just kidding, but seriously, y'all standing in my place. I mean, this is my place. This is my spot. Why are you in my joint? That's already going to twist her mind up. She's already engaged in a mental tug.
Wait, we can see he likes playing mind games. He likes exploiting people to a certain degree, right? I heard a similar story that he told about coming up to a woman in a parking garage and telling her, you parked in my spot, and it was late at night and the woman was ready to fight him, and in his mind, this is the reason why. We might go over that one. This is the reason why she wasn't feminine, because she didn't back down when this, I'm like, what? So this is the foundation. He's telling you the principles, but upon which now he goes about doing his things and crafting these social experiments. So he says he likes going up to and basically intimidating women with the fact that he's a man, to say, like, you're in my spot. And this is the one I wanted to get to. Listen good. I'm gonna stop it when we get there, but keep listening.
War, that's enticing to them. What is she used to hearing? Ooh, you so pretty. Ooh, you so fine. Ooh, you so gorgeous. Ooh, girl, I drink your bath water. Blah, 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 blah. You want to hear that mess? What she want to hear is, girl, whatever. I'll take you back and blow your back out, pull you by your hair and treat you like a cave woman. Shut up. One story and I'm out. So, innocent phase.
I have to pause for a second.
Because I was raised.
I have to pause for a second. Women, if you are listening to this, please, because, sometimes, again, like I said, who is he talking to? Who are these women? So if you're in the comment section, let us know if someone came up to you and spoke to you in that manner. Would that be something that you would be interested in? Would that be the type of person that you would be interested in? Or would you check him? Let me know. Story time, eh? I would have some choice words, but let's continue.
As a simp, I learned pimping tactics. I went back to simping because it's hard to, unplug from the matrix. I moved to Houston. And I'm a member of a fraternity. And I go down, and we have one way of doing things where I'm from. I go down to Houston, and I got a fraternity brother. This dude is ugly as all. He looked like Shabba Ranks. Oh, this dude was just beat up from the feet up. But he was a cool brother. He had game. That just showed you. And this dude, everywhere he went, women was all over him. Dude looked like a burnt Dorito, but women loved him because he had a mouthpiece. We went down to the Kappa Beach party, and I'm sitting there trying to do the good guy role. Even though I know the simp stuff don't work, I had fallen back into simp tactics. I'm sitting there, and this chick walks by, and I was like, hey, how you doing? And she just looked at me like I had crap on me. I'm like, now I'm looking good, smelling good, got my polo this on, polo that. And we leaned on the car, and he was like, no, fine. No, bro, you can't do it that way. You can't do it like that down here. These chicks don't want to be talked to like that. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, let me show you how it's done. The finest chick I had seen, the Kappa Beach party was banging around this time of year. The finest chick I had seen walk by. He smacked her on her butt hard. I mean, it went pow! Oh, you heard that stuff all the way down in Beaumont. I'm like, oh, I know she about to punch you in your jaw. Fine. And she's like, pow! Hey, Red. She turned and looked at him like, And he's like, hey, Red, come here, girl. What? Girl, you heard me. Come over here. I'm like, oh, my God. She about to punch him. I'm like, oh, we about to die. I'm putting all this power and focus on this chick. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is our beach party. He's a Kappa. We on side of a Mercedes, but I'm putting her up on this pedestal. This is what I saw afterwards. What happened? She ended up walking over to him. He spit a little game to her for about 2 minutes. They roll off. He's like, all right, bruh. Here's the keys to the car. We're going in her car. We're going back to her room. finest chick on the beach. He slapped on her butt. Hey, girl, come over here. And she left with him. And my butt out there simping being nice.
Pause. You notice how, as we all do in life, you pick up things from stories. And to me, when I heard this, I was like, oh, could that be why he likes that little slap sound that he goes around proverbially and virtually slapping women just because he feels he can? He's going to go on to explain it. So basically, like he said, when he did good behavior, he didn't get the results he was looking for, so he decided to do bad behavior. And people around him are engaging in this negative, bad behavior, and they're training the people around and the women around to accept this behavior, right? And now he's like, oh, okay, then acting good is not getting me no progress. Let me emulate those around me who are getting what they want. So for those who are following behind him, the question is, what type of women and where are you looking for these women that would let you and allow you to violate them in certain ways and have nothing to say? Like, what type of woman is that? That's the question. I just have too many questions. I mean, I went to, anyway, let's just continue.
Can't argue with the lived experience. That's what happened. So from that point on, I was like, oh, that's what's up. So I could either, and here's the thing is men, we resist doing things that work because we want it to work the way we want it to. It's like saying, put on clothes that fit. Care more about your appearance. Up your shoe game. Wear fragrance. Do all these things. Do all this. Yeah, I know all that stuff works, and I can see the data, and I can get all the references and everything else, but I ain't gonna do it that way. I'm gonna do it my way. Because men, we hard-headed. We hard-headed, we don't learn. Or we only learn the hard way. You hear too many guys telling you these kind of stories to understand, look, men, women like dominant men, cocky men, confident men. It don't matter if you're working at McDonald's.
Oh, they wasn't high value there 3 years ago. It don't matter if you're working at McDonald's. You got everything to offer. Wait a minute, what happened to the high value? It doesn't matter if you're working at McDonald's. I see he switched up that thought process. But again, it may be, like I keep saying, I have to keep reiterating it, because to say that women like cocky, you can, again, assured, focused, know what you're doing, but somebody who's going to assault me, and then he's like, ooh, that's not, what type of women? That's the question I keep asking. What type of women? The type that you may be attracted to. Overgeneralizing. We went over this in the, as we were talking about things of communicating. Overgeneralizing, because this is his lived experience in a certain space, right?
They want you. They want it all. They want sex just like you want sex. Make it easy for her to be with you. It is simple as that. If you slap a chick on the ass right now, she's on the street, she call it sexual harassment. I'm going to have to go ahead and disagree with you on that.
He disagrees.
I see it happen in too many clubs. It's on how you do it. But I get the point. See, we as men, you know, when I used to teach guys how to pick up women, because I've had a stint as a dating coach, I can teach all that stuff, you know. One of the biggest fears guys will have, I don't want to do that because what if she throws a drink in my face or slaps me in the face? I'm like, when have you ever seen that happen? Well, I haven't. I was like, you see it on TV and on movies. But if I'm telling you it works,
that works. So as a dating coach, you gave that story and told people that this is what works. Violate someone else's space because they like it. Hey, I'm sorry, y'all.
You're gonna do well. I don't see a lot of guys are afraid of success. That's why we stay stuck. Man, if you just wear clothes that fit, it don't matter what brand it is. Man, if you just wear some fragrance, if you do this, That's why we vacillate between these simp and pimp, because a lot of us are afraid of success because we've been made to be afraid of manhood and our masculinity, but this rabbit hole can go far too deep. Suffice it to say, my uncle didn't have to think that way. My grandfather and them didn't have to think that way. That's why shows like Mad Men were so successful, because men were men. And we associate. That's why shows like The Walking Dead are so successful, because you see a society where men are men. Look.
I'm trying to figure out what men is meant. I mean, he's telling us, but it just seems that there's no discipline. There is encroaching in other people's spaces and feeling like you have total right to a stranger's body. Hey, I like you, spit some game to the person, and then you feel entitled to them. And this, I know they say it's a buzzword, but this is toxic. I'm sorry. It's not this. I'm not even saying it. I haven't been saying it on all this. This is a toxic mentality. This is not a mentality that's going to value the other person that you're with. This is a mentality that I'm going to exploit the person. I'm going to use manipulation tactics to get what I want from that person and move on to another person. This right here, I hope this video don't get too long, but I kind of wanted to go back a little, so let's keep going.
I know we've been told a lot of stuff, and, it ain't my thing to smack a woman on her ass. I'm just saying you can do it figuratively, but you can't go upside her head figuratively. And when I tell a chick, get out of my space, you're in my space, I'm going upside her head or smacking her on her butt. I am asserting. I'm sorry.
Listen to all of the violent language, smacking her, going upside her head. Does this sound like somebody who loves and is supposed to be in protecting and caring for the feminine principle? Or does this sound like somebody who has some issues with the feminine principle? This doesn't sound like, hey, brothers, let me teach you how to love and connect. Right? I guess that's the simp version. But I am adversarial towards you, and this is why this energy that's coming from him is causing so much division, because at the very root it's adversarial. At the root it's divisive. At the root it's a negative energy that's surrounding these truths, and that's why it's having the effect that it's having. This is
my dominance. I'm pissing on my territory. She's in my territory. If she stays, that means she wants to get pissed on. That means she wants to be with me. If she don't, she know how to leave.
Did you hear that? I'm sorry, I was talking about put a lead up, but that's kind of what I wanted to get to today. What in all of R. Kelly is going on? Did the brother just say he's asserting his dominance and he's pissing on his territory? Like, hey, you in my space, hey, you in my seat, even if you don't even own the place, even if you're at a Starbucks, even if you're at a parking garage, it's not even your space. So we're playing land of make-believe here, okay? And you're going into all these communal spaces and pissing proverbially on your territory. And this is the part that got me. If she stays, it means that she wants to get pissed on. So, special service announcement to all the women that keep calling into the show. This is his territory. Therefore, according to his rationale, the moment you agree to go on this live stream, the moment make no mistake about it, you being entrapped, make no mistake. But the moment you enter into that space, you are agreeing to be pissed on. And not only are you agreeing to be pissed on, you are agreeing for him to make a mockery of you and to monetize that pissing so that this right here. There's a certain type of person who will go for this, and it's someone who has been oftentimes exposed to, has a trauma, has an injury, has a vulnerability, someone male and female who may be attracted to this and not able to see it for what it is. But I'm gonna let it play out just a little bit more.
Women have choices. And they're not these dainty little delicate creatures who need to be saved by us. Have you ever been with a woman in a bed?
Okay, so pause. Because him has an issue with women, then now I have to, like I said before, I have to dehumanize you. In order for somebody to manipulate you, to exploit you, they have to make you less than human in their mind, so that they don't feel that they're doing anything wrong. So you listen for language of, you're not dainty, you don't need my protection, because if you did and you were, then I couldn't justify doing what I'm doing to you. But at the same time, he was the one who just said earlier that he's superior, he's dominant, and you're submissive. So if the dominant person, the one who's overpowering the other one, how are they not dainty in need of protection when you are the one who's overpowering them? If the parents are dominant and the child is supposed to be submissive and the parent is providing for that child, then that parent is also supposed to protect that child. So how could you be dominant and superior and at the same time says that person who you're lording over, you don't need to protect because they're not dainty? And now you're going to go to the only space that you keep talking about for this whole time, which is sexually exploiting this person. Let's go.
Who sexually knows herself, she will kill you. So the smack on the butt? No, I don't agree. You mess around with some of these chicks, they want to smack you and harness you up. You better watch. If I can't slap her, how should I approach it? Ask her to slap herself. Even better. Yep.
Okay.
You get her first you get here, then the body's easy. But that's a talk for another day.
It sure is.
The takeaways from this, guys,
sure is a talk for another day. Did you hear what he said? First you get her here, and then the body is easy. So what does that sound like? That doesn't sound like somebody who's giving you love, long-lasting relationships, and how to make your marriage work. And so you keep asking people about marriage, but that's not your intent. There was another video where he said you can pay him to get married again, right? So you dominate the person, you violate the person, you manipulate the person in their minds, and then you take the one thing that may be precious to that person, which is their body, and then you discard them. Wow. That was to sum it up, right? So he says, first you get her in her mind, and the body is easy. Let me know your thoughts in the description below, man. Comment section. Thank everybody for tuning in. I could say more, but I think he's said enough. We'll be back for another one of these noteworthy editions, and let us know how you have been enjoying them, and have you been taking notes so that you'll be prepared for this conversation, because these type of conversations are happening all over social media, and it's very important for us to bring some facts to the table. With that said, everybody have a blessed day. 1.